What's up, everyone? I wasn't really planning on recording anything as I'm going to Florida this coming Sunday. I'm gonna try and post this video quick before I go on vacation. I'm going to Florida. Hopefully gonna visit a place. That's all I'm gonna say for now. That is the plan. Hopefully it happens, but today is Wednesday, the 6th, I believe it is. It is now the 7th because it's past midnight. But just did some water changes before I go on the trip, and well, this tank started leaking. You can still see it's all wet down here. I have a towel over the filter right now as water was dripping on top of the filter onto the power strip right there. And this plastic cross brace that's underneath here, I could see water dripping from that and up in that back corner. It's pretty much dried now. I don't know why it stopped leaking. I don't know why it started. I'm assuming the seals are bad, but you almost probably wouldn't believe me, but it was. It's all soaked down here. So this is all just temporary. I have a friend giving me a 55-gallon tomorrow. I'm actually getting a bunch of stuff, fish tank related stuff, from him when I get back from Florida. He's kind of closing up his shop kind of thing, only keeping a few tanks. And yeah, so temporarily I lowered the water level. The guy I got this tank from, you can probably just barely see that. I actually bought a bunch of used tanks from this guy throughout a couple years ago, but I just noticed this black X up in the corner, and I usually only fill it to about there. You can see where all that level is. That's usually about where I fill it, and I did fill it pretty high this time, and it started leaking. So for now, as you can see, there's only 2 fish in here. I have a backup in case something happens during the night until I get that 55 going from him, from my friend. But those 2 are there. I moved the other one over here for now, just to get through the night. The puffer fish, unfortunately, did die, so this tank's been empty. And the funny thing is I just unplugged the filter and the heater because I put a few snails in there, and I was just going to leave the sponge filter going, but they yeah, I just unplugged everything except the air pump because all there is snails in there, and then this happens. So if I get that tank tomorrow, I will definitely record it, setting it up at least and getting it going. I might just put a piece of wood on the top of this stand because it is hollow. There's the tank. I don't know, figure it out. I might just have to temporarily set it up on the 240 stand just to get me through next week while I'm in Florida. So here we are. It is about 24 hours later after my tank started leaking, and I was able to get a hold of a 55-gallon tank that my friend was going to give me later when I get back from Florida. But since it was an emergency, he ended up letting me pick it up earlier today. And they're freaking out now. But yeah, so here's the 55 that the Flowerhorns are now in. Hopefully they do alright in it for now. I'm hoping that this is just temporary for them because they were obviously in a 75 and kind of had to downgrade because of circumstances. It is pretty rigged up right now also, since similar footprint, 4 feet long, wide, whatever you want to say. I had to put some 2x6s I had laying around to compensate for the 6-inch difference in depth. Then I figured, since some of these boards are slightly warped, that I would put some pink insulation down just to kind of absorb any differences in the wood. Probably not enough light back here, but I did end up having to cut spots for these hoses for the filter because it was pretty tight where it was. I actually had to stick a board underneath the filter just to get it up a little bit more to compensate for the wood there. But the fish are fine, hopefully. At least they have something temporary instead of this 35-gallon tote or whatever the case would have been if I didn't get this. And the other Flowerhorn is over here. Not expecting this guy to live, in all honesty. He kind of has a small prolapse. Actually, it's kind of more like an air sac coming out of his anus, if you will, but I've tried popping it with a sterilized needle and it did not work. Keeps coming back. He does eat, but oh well. Also, while I'm recording this, I did get some new snails. If it focuses. These are island snails. Apparently they're like the little, slightly littler brother to the apple snails, which I had an apple snail as a kid. The thing was probably the size of a baseball. And it ended up having 3 babies. Don't know how. Not sure if snails can asexually produce. Haven't really researched it. This guy's still up here, so I should probably help him out. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for my tank leaking adventure. Was not expecting a tank to start leaking a couple days before Florida, but the problem is taken care of. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.